Okay, so more on parabolas. And I can see right now that the sun is shining. Just a minute. All right, let's try this again. So here's an equation, and you're supposed to find the vertex, focus, directrix, and graph it. Well, when you look at this, first of all, you know it's going to be a parabola because of the square. And notice the square is on the y. That means that this parabola is going to open either to the left or to the right. Okay, so let's take a look at the equation, the form that we want it to go into. We want it to look like this. So notice the square, the y needs to be on the right side, the x needs to be on the left, and then the a value needs to be in front of the y. So we got to do a little manipulating here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch sides. There, now I got my square term on the right. I got my x on the left. Now I just need to get this over here. So I want to cancel it out. So I'm going to divide it because remember this is multiplication. So I'm going to divide both sides by 16. So then I'll have x plus 2 equals, this is 1 over 16 times y minus 3 squared. So you're going to graph it, vertex, focus, directrix, and there's your equation. So this is just like day 2. So I just wanted to show you how to rearrange it so that it's in the correct format. And for some reason, this author calls this standard form, even though we call this standard form as well. Okay, so don't get confused over that. Okay, so the second thing is if you're given a graph, okay, and you have to write the equation, find the vertex, focus, directrix, if you're given a graph. So let's go to Desmos, and let's go ahead and take a look at the red one first. So notice this is a parabola that opens down, okay, so we know the a value is going to be negative. Also, one of the things, in order to write the equation, we need to calculate the c value. So first thing we need to find is the vertex. So I believe the vertex is going to be right about here. It looks like it's going to be at 2, 1. Now from here, in order to calculate the c value, we're going to look at a property, a parabolas, and this is it. If you start at the vertex and you go out c units, if you double that, you should end up on the parabola if you've calculated the correct c units. Okay, so let's go back. And let's say that c is 1. So if I go 1 unit, then if I double 1, I get 2. 1, 2. Did I land on the parabola? No. So let's try c value of 2. So 1, 2. Double that is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's not the c value. Let's try 3 units. So double 3 is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right there, you can see that the c value is going to be 3. If you double it, if you double c, you're going to get 6 in this case, and then you go over 6 and land on the parabola. So we know that the c value here is 3. Okay? Now, let me go back to the graph. And we need to also graph this. So let me get some graph paper here. I got so many papers sitting around here that I don't know what's going on. So back to our graph. So we know that our vertex is at 2, 1, and we know our C value is 3, so 1, 2, 3. So this point right here is going to be our focus. So that's going to be 2, negative 2. And then if we go back 3 from the vertex, or up 3 I should say, 1, 2, 3, this is going to be our directrix. So y equals 4 is going to be our directrix. Now, we have all the information that we need so that we can write the equation. So this is going to be in the format it's opening down, so yes, so it's going to be, the x is going to be squared. So y minus k equals, and then we're going to calculate this, and then x minus h squared. So we're going to use this format. Okay? So don't forget that this is h and this is k. So we're going to have y equals, and it's going to be 1 over 4 times c, which is 3, okay, times x minus 2 squared, and our k value is 1. I'm using vertex form. So we get y, and if I move the plus 1 to the other side, I would subtract it from both sides. So y minus 1 equals 1 over 12 times x minus 2 squared. And that would be what they call standard form. Okay, let's take a look at the next problem. Number 3. I'm going to give you an equation, and I'm going to ask you to put it in standard form. What standard form? Either this one here, notice they call it standard form, or it's going to be this one, depending on which letter is squared. So let's see, what's squared? Y is squared, right? So it's going to be this one right here. It's going to be a parabola that either opens to the left or to the right. So here's how you do it. So we want y squared. We want the minus 8y. And then we're going to leave a blank. We're going to move everything else to the other side. So we have to cancel them on the left, add them on the right. Okay? And then we're going to go ahead and complete the square. So y, half of minus 8 is minus 4. And minus 4 squared is 16. And if we add 16 on the left, we have to add 16 on the right. And so we get 6x plus 36. We got to complete the square. Why, Mr. Kramer? Because look, we have a perfect square here. Anytime we want to get a perfect square, we have to complete the square to make one. So notice I got rid of everything but my y values on this side, or my y variables, excuse me. And then I completed the square by taking half of b and then squaring it. Alright, we're almost done. This video is a little bit longer than I expected. On this side, we want to factor out a 6. So I do apologize, Demetrius. Hopefully you're hanging in there with me. And they're on the wrong side, so I'm going to switch sides. The 6 needs to be over here, so I'm going to divide both sides by 6. So I'm going to have x plus 6 equals, and this is going to be 1/6 times y minus 4 squared. There's standard form. From here, we can get our vertex, which is going to be -6, 4. How did I get -6? Well, if you subtract the 6, you get -6 over here. So -6, 4. Okay, focus. Well, to get the focus, we need to set the denominator equal to 4c. So in this case, c is going to be equal to 6/4 or 3/2, which is equal to 1.5. Now, it's going to be really helpful if we graph this. So we are going to graph this real quick here. So -6/4 is our vertex. So -6, +4. And we know that this is a parabola that's opening horizontally. And it's positive, so it's opening to the right. Okay, so we're going to go to the right 1.5 units. So there's our focus. And we're going to go to the left 1.5 units. And that's going to be our directrix. Okay, so we know it's going to open to the right. Now here's something new. In the previous two notes, I said just to sketch a parabola, right? Well, now we know something new, don't we? We know that if we go C units in, we would go twice that many to reach the parabola, and twice that many the other direction to reach the parabola. So we can actually get 2 more points here. So if we go 1.5 in, if we double 1.5, we get 3. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And now we have 3 points to help us draw a better representation of this parabola. So again, our focus here is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So -4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then our directrix is going to be x equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5. Sorry about that. -7.5. So x equals -7.5. And what else am I missing? Focus, directrix, vertex. Let me look at the worksheet quick, if I can find it. And we also have the equation right here. I know it's a little lengthy video, and you may have to watch it again. But if you do have any questions, I will be happy to answer them on Monday. Hope you're having a great weekend.